or your passenger style vehicles. So, and the process for that again is if they have one and you come, you know, your program comes to them and says, hey, you have a junk vehicle, you need to cover it up, and they don't do anything, go to our enforcement, they step in, and then the motor vehicle recycling program that I'm part of, we go in and we help them comply with the law with the shielding and make sure they are a commercial facility, they meet that definition that they're disposing of the fluids correctly and all that good stuff. So
Okay, so the trailers that are, and safety issue, would that go to DEQ enforcement?
not the trailers.
Okay. Would DEQ have anything to do with them based on, one, they're in the right of way, and two, they're a visibility hazard?
No. Short answer.
Okay.
So being in the right of way, that would be a DOT
That's-
thing.
yeah.
That's not, that wouldn't be us. And the visibility, you know, there would be a problem with, you know, massive amounts of solid waste. And our enforcement would get on top of that. But again, if it's specifically the junk vehicle program would get involved. But again, if they're just kind of ugly cars that still run,
They don't
we can't
qualify.
do anything about it. So if they're registered, if they're licensed, we can't do anything about it. So.
Okay, so from the pictures, did you see anything that you can address, or anything where you can help direct us to another agency or a division within an agency?
Yeah, so like I was saying, the right of way, I would contact both the sheriff, I've already done that, and the DOT. So like this first one, I would maybe contact enforcement about solid waste issues, just because that's quite a lot of stuff there. Honestly, if I'm looking at this, there's maybe, that kind of looks like a cab, that could maybe be a junk vehicle.
Okay,
Nothing else I see here is screaming junk vehicle to me.
Okay.
It's just, they're just kind of junky cars. Again, tires, definitely contact enforcement about that. Yeah, and again, so this camper, we couldn't do anything about. This vehicle kind of looks like it might be, but again, I can't tell.
sure.
This one, I mean, that could run perfectly fine, and it has a license plate, so.
Could we see the pictures here?
Oh, yeah. So this tire, one I was saying, we're looking at this one right now.
The camper that's there belongs to another neighbor.
Okay.
Belongs to the guy with all the junk.
Okay,
Is that Standish's?
No,
Oh.
it's,
yeah, and this one, again, that's quite a lot of solid waste, so I would maybe contact enforcement, but again,
Okay,
I'm not seeing really anything in there that would necessarily qualify for our program, just
Okay.
based on quick look. Same with this one, that just looks kind of like a junky car. I'm sure you're talking more about that RV
This one?
camper than anything, but again, we
right,
can't do anything about that.
okay,
Trailers, again, not part of our program.
that would be DOT because
Yep.
it's in the,
Yep,
okay,
because
or
it's in the right of way.
away.
okay,
Now this one with the flat tire, looks like it's been there a long time, so that might, I mean, some of these might even be abandoned vehicles, in which case the sheriff could take them. So there is a process for that too, and it applies to private property as well. So if somebody has abandoned a vehicle on your property and you don't want it there, if it's been there for 5 days and there's a record of that, then there is a process to go through the sheriff and have someone come pick it up, and then we reimburse if it's a junk vehicle for that tow expense. So that is an option if these are, you know, some properties where maybe stuff has been left and they don't want it there anymore. And certainly the junk vehicle program itself exists primarily to take valueless cars, junk vehicles, off people's hands, keep them out of the streets. So we do pay the counties, as you guys know, we have that fund, so we can give you guys money to help you do that. But yeah, in terms of the shielding themselves, like, you have to be able to figure out if it's a junk vehicle, first of all, because just by looking at it, you can't tell hardly.
okay. All right. And then the last, is this, yeah, the last picture, do you see, probably the same thing as you've said already, although that looks like there could be more than 4 vehicles in there,
Which one
right?
are you looking at? Oh, that one.
Talking maybe about the fence option?
Yep,
Enforcement?
that is a good example of they need shielding. There are definitely some in there that are pretty obviously junk vehicles, you know. And again, so it needs to be not visible from 6 feet from the center of the road, of the public road. So if I'm 6 feet tall, I'm looking straight, I can't be able to see it. So it's kind of like a, you know, from a pickup truck height, you're looking across, if you can see that, it's probably not properly shielded.
Okay,
So yeah, this would be a shielding thing. If they have more than 4, which it does look like they do, they probably need a wrecking yard license from us.
okay.
In other words, a lot of this to work out with the county attorney, right?
Mm-hmm, yep,
Other than the state on
right,
those semis, because they are on their easement.
correct, yep. The things like the easement, that would be a state issue, you could deal with DOT. Junk vehicles, that's us, but anything else, you're gonna wanna maybe have some kind of, like they were saying, ordinance against, you know, stuff in people's yards. So, which I know that some counties do have. So, I don't know if that's something you
Yeah,
guys.
one trailer's got a Oklahoma plate on it.
Oh, wow.
How long you say that's been there? Probably 25 years?
Well, I'm gonna tell you all of 15.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any way, I mean, we've had the sheriff request the county attorney, you have, can we call him and ask him to come down? He was here earlier.
Yeah, I figured he was gonna stay, I didn't know he was running off, but.
You have 2 phones right to your left, Franklin, could you give him a call?
While he's making that phone call too, I have called numerous highways and finally got directed to Bozeman, because Raidersburg happens to be in Bozeman's area. So I have talked to Mark, I have not talked to Mark Roper, I have talked to Katie with Mark Roper.
Listen here, Mike.
And,
Why don't you take
Maybe
one?
push-
and that was
push
in
forward.
February of 2017, so.
And so it's, I'm wondering if Raidersburg falls under the Three Forks. I'm not sure who the highway, because I don't know if it's Jeff here or if it's, I don't know if you know.
I've talked to Butte, I'm glad to hear it's Bozeman, because Butte is pretty much hands-off,
Oh, I
so
went
we
to
have nothing
Helena,
to do with
Helena
it.
told me to go to Butte, Butte told me to go to Bozeman, so.
Well, good, we might get more
Corey?
answers from
So-
Bozeman than
Is Corey?
Butte.
Broadwater
Yeah,
County.
are you busy, or
The
can you come down here to
Bozeman-
the commissioners and see
Bozeman
if we
side,
can answer some questions?
The Toston Dam, so everything,
Oh,
or
junk
Toston
vehicles
Bridge,
and things like
everything
that.
is from 287 south of the bridge is under the
Who?
Three Forks.
Yeah, he's here.
Division, but I don't know if Raidersburg's included
Okay,
in
okay,
that,
thanks.
or if it falls under Jeff. And so, really, it comes down to having whoever that supervisor is for the highway department in that jurisdiction come out and.
We haven't got the answer we want from Butte, so maybe we can get the answer we want
Yeah.
from Bozeman.
And the
But on
thing
the ordinance too, we've looked into that, and like you said, Harla, for other areas around the county, and we've been told legally we can't do one. So can you get the ordinances or whatever counties those are to us so we can
yeah.
counteract that?
Check that out.
And I
If
guess I
they
would.
found a way, maybe we
Yeah.
can too.
You know, and I would, I guess I'm gonna say this and not, I've gone out and met with the folks in Raidersburg and I understand. I'm gonna say, we'll proceed with caution, we wanna go off the 33 feet off the center of the road. I would suggest be prepared, because if I have to go up, and if this is where, you do it for one, you're gonna do it for all. And so, there's gonna be some people moving fences, there's gonna be some people moving a lot of things. And that could probably infuriate a few folks. Because if we're gonna do it for one, we do it for all. It's equal across the board. And I understand, if we're gonna open up the roadway, we're gonna open the roadway. And we're not gonna just pick and choose how we go through that. So, I want you to understand, if this is the road that we wanna go down, then we'll go down it. But there's gonna be a consequence on the backside. So, and I think everybody needs to understand that. It's not just that a semi-trailer in the roadway, it's gonna be, I'm gonna go out there and say, you need to move a lot of things. And that's gonna be a heartburn. So, I think Corey's here now, we need to have an idea of what's allowable. I'm not gonna disagree in the fact that whoever owns that house, and I still don't know their name, you've probably told me 20 times by now, but I can never remember. He's got more issues than just looking at that photo. I didn't know there was that much junk back there. Good Lord, that's a huge issue. And Mr. Standish and his colossal pile back there in his area. I mean, there's a lot of things that Dewey Osterhout and his junk stuff there. I don't know.
There's Butch McGee also right next door to us, and we have built
Oh,
a
yeah.
fence between us.
Forgot
But there
about
is
it,
also property below that now belongs to the school, and we're going to build a fence between him and us eventually. But we need to know what kind of a fence and who's gonna pay for that because of the cars. There's at least 19 trucks around his house alone, and that doesn't include the rest of the acreage.
No, yeah, if you walk up behind there, it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
I-
canyons are full of vehicles.
Yeah.
So will DEQ actually go out, do you know, and I know it's not your area, but will DEQ actually go out to Raidersburg with the enforcement folks and determine who they need to talk to and what they need to talk to if we just ask them
Yep.
in general?
Yep, so you'll need to register, whoever wants to do it, a complaint with our enforcement team, and then they'll go out and investigate.
Okay,
And they check it out, and then once they kind of get to the point of, they'll be the ones that either say you need to move them, or do the shielding, and once they do that, and it's 4 more cars, that's when we'll start the licensing process and come out and make sure they're doing the correct shielding. Yeah, again, enforcement, if they have improper shielding, all that good stuff, then they'll kind of take it from there, and they'll be the ones that you'd want to contact with that. We're more the permitting end of things, they're I don't know. the attack dogs.
enforcement?
Yeah, they're enforcement.
So as far as the junk vehicle program then, Brian, would it be up to you to go and look at the particular vehicles that might be negatives on the 3 questions that qualify them as junk vehicles that are on the highway or the public roads throughout Raidersburg?
If you can't track down ownership and they're declared abandoned, then the county could go in and get them as junk vehicles.
Okay,
But I would tell people that, Lore's Salvage Yard is also a junk vehicle licensed facility. They will actually pay people for junk vehicles. Broadwater County is not going to give you anything. We'll come and get it, but that's it. But Lore's will pay people for them. So this guy that's got 20 of them in his backyard, he might actually make a buck if he gets a hold of Lore's and they come out and take them for him. That might be the carrot that gets him to do something about it. Because I'm sure he's sitting there, he doesn't like it and doesn't want them there, but he doesn't know how to get rid of them.
He wants them there,
He wants them there.
that's definite.
I did look, and the one house that has the 2 moving vans in front of it,
That's what we're talking about.
they're not paying solid waste fees either, so we're getting them tacked onto the bill. That'll probably get his attention.
okay,
And then we'll start talking to him about the other stuff.
okay.
But, it's just, people get attached to their stuff.
Yeah, and stuff.
Go ahead, Alan.
I'd just like to say one short thing. We've got 6 volunteer firemen in Raidersburg. There's 5 in this room right now. There is 2 retired firefighters in this room. We don't know what's in that van. We don't know what's in them cars. We don't know, there's a hazard to any firefighter that has to go into there. All them vans in front of there, there's no way that we can attack that fire where those vans are sitting from the front. Same way with the one with all the junk in the front of it. He was pulling a 4-wheel trailer in there today as we went by, hauling some more stuff in there. If there's a fire in either one of these blocks or the block across the street, like Jeff said, with them tires, even though they don't have a bunch of tires sitting there. Each one of those vehicles have tires on them, those semi-tires. And I just don't know how we even approach that. If there was fire behind their house, to the side of it. You know, and I think there's not a fireman here that would wanna venture into what's in those trailers.
Okay.
You know, who knows? I mean, they might be full of propane bombs as far as we know. I don't think that's probably the case.
But you don't know,
We don't,
that's a big issue.
you know, and I'm on the fire board, I am gonna bring that up at our next fire meeting, so.
Because we brought up the burned church, is that a DEQ issue if they don't tear it down? I mean, to have a burned, I mean, and help me out, I can't remember exactly how. They had a fire, I think, back in last year, and it's sitting there. And so the one side's completely burned out, I guess it'd be the
No, I don't
west
know.
side, but,
I could look into that, but
yeah. I mean, most everybody tears them down, this
Yeah.
one's just sitting up on top
Yeah,
of the hill. And
It sounds like DEQ enforcement needs to probably spend a week in Radiusburg. looking at this stuff.
I would love that.
That's right. Free coffee, donuts, and lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe supper, we probably could potluck.
I won't say no to food, that's for sure.
Would DEQ enforcement be the folks to at least look at the trailers? Perhaps wonder what's inside it? The other person I'm wondering is the
I would
public health
definitely-
officer.
Yeah, but I've written down their number for you guys, and I'll give those to you.
Thanks.
I would just give them a call, and I mean, definitely tell them about the tires. That's like a big red flag. But yeah, I would just kind of see what they can do in regards to that, and ask them about the burned house, because again, they're kind of our first line of defense. They go out there and they'll know.
Plus, like to see it where I live, there's, on the weekends and evenings, there's kids playing around up there, and there's wind blowing, and pieces of the roofing steel, they're blowing around, and,
Mm,
yeah. It's just not a good thing.
yeah.
Well, at the same time that I called Mr. Wilfer, I called Department of Environmental Quality, 444-2544, and I got a Leah, and she says, you must be a neighbor to make a complaint.
That's not true. Any member of the public.
Yeah. Yeah, so I called, so,
If you can see it from the road, it's violating the law.
yeah, okay, so. I hope you're not Leah, I'm sorry. I didn't
Nope.
catch your name.
I'm Diana Rose, by the way. I don't even know what number that was.
I don't know, I called, they were sending me everywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, now, of course, should we get this enforcement in their region first, and then maybe they work with you or tell you what, or what?
Yeah, so whenever DEQ does something, we work together, and sometimes it's informal. I don't think we've had to step one up to a actual court filing, but we can do that if we have to. So yeah, I would say that's probably the first crack at it. There's possibility of a public nuisance, a way to do it as well. You can do a public nuisance, basically prosecution. So that's more of a civil case, but yeah, that's another way. But I would start with probably your system first, unless there's some areas that yours wouldn't cover as far as like the vehicles parked along the roadway,
Right.
something like that.
So just gonna reiterate that stop sign on that corner, you know, it's on the road I live on, so we have to drive and stop at that sign every day. You know, and you have to get out of the middle road to see it. And it's just not right.
And Corey and Wynn, before you guys go, you should look at Deb's pictures about that stop sign and the lack of visibility due to the trailer. Probably, I would think, puts it in a different
Motorhome
realm.
entry.
Entries, yeah.
Well,
there's
it's
a lot
not
of-
just the locals that have that problem either, because all the motorcycle riders that are coming down from that direction come down to that stop sign and have to stop with a load on and trailers behind them and drive out into the street before they can see, which, you know, traffic too. So it's
Yeah.
not just locally, it's for every, you know, for all that crew too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you guys have investigators? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That, guy that was dealing with the tires at the mill,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably one that would come out and look at it.
Yeah, the other thing, some of these, if they're parked in that place, that could be a traffic regulation, I mean, that could be you see highway patrol all the time, they'll have a vehicle towed, if it's not moved, then they'll mark it, and if it's not moved in 48 hours or something like that, they'll have it towed.
40 years.
41, 42, whatever it takes.
I say, you know, those van trailers that are there are really probably as historically significant to Raidersburg as anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Raidersburg and you see two semis,
You wouldn't recognize them.
Who's living in Aaron Smith's house?
Cadet
Oh,
and Kinzer or whatever.
See, you know them all.
Yeah.
So Corey, one of the cautions from Wynn was if we asked DEQ to be very strict on the 33 feet from center line easement issue, which these trailers are clearly in that 33 feet, then probably we have problems along Broadway, we have problems in Tustin, we have problems all over the county. So with your knowledge of the law, is there another way to address those trailers, especially if there is that visibility issue or a safety issue, not knowing what's inside it for potential
Yeah,
disaster?
it occurred to me more of a traffic safety issue, like a highway patrol approach to it. But I'd have to be out, I mean, not I, the officer would have to go out and make that assessment. But if it's a point where it's obstructing view for either going around the corner safely or at the stop, then, I mean, they should be able to mark, I mean, what happens on the highway, we've seen it all the time, is that there's an abandoned vehicle, they mark it, and then they come get it after a while. This one, since it's right at a property, might be a little bit different story, but shouldn't be hard to start that process with a warning and then tell them, you got this long to move it.
Is that something that you and Wynn would take care of, since it sounds like more of a legal issue, property rights issue?
So do you have a DEQ way to deal with it, or not?
With abandoned?
The vehicles that are, well, are they abandoned? Do we really know?
They're not.
They're not abandoned?
You own them.
Well, they're
So-
unlicensed,
They're
uninsured.
unlicensed.
The county program would be the first people to talk to. That's just going through, a tow company, they come tow it to the county yard or wherever,
And that's generally for an abandoned vehicle.
for the junk vehicles. Abandoned vehicles, it is tricky. So abandoned vehicles can be junk vehicles, but they also might not be a junk vehicle. So, your county representative needs to be able to make that designation at the time. So it's like, it's abandoned, they come and say, oh, this is obviously a junk vehicle, so you can go from there, but,
I think the first thing to do is talk to the owner and say, look, however many years this has gone on, it can't go on any longer, so you got this much time to move it.
And
I wonder
who does that?
I wonder if not a letter. Because I recognize a few of these
She
letters.
delivers the mail. Yeah.
That's true. Well, she's only one of the problems, and I'm looking at Aaron Smith's, and I think this is where, I'll be honest, the DEQ come in, and this would be a definite one on your enforcement side, Aaron Smith's place. Dewey Osterhout, we all already know how smart he is, because he drove by when 3 sheriff's cars were sitting outside and went to jail. So, it's gonna be hard pressed to get him to change his ways, but I wonder if this is where we don't send a letter to him saying you have so much time to clean up your property, or we're gonna go down this road. My aspect in this is obviously if we had an ordinance aspect, to have something come back. Even, because I can hear the complaints. It's my right to have my vehicles in my yard, blah, 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 and we're gonna hear it. Some people that moved to Raidersburg for a reason, and that's no disrespect to anybody. But some of the folks up there, they wanna be out of sight, out of mind, and, that's the problem, but I think that we need to kinda, if we're gonna take a multi-pronged approach towards it, so it's everybody going at it instead of just one group. But, like I said, what we do is gonna have to be followed through. That same expectation's gonna be set through the Tostin, it's gonna be set through Three Forks area, anything that falls within the county, and so it could be a very large endeavor, but, I'll be honest with you, it'd be nice if we could dig a really big hole and push all this crap in it and cover it up, but hopefully that's not against law of DEQ, but it might be the quickest means to the end, I'll be honest with you, so,
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, sorry, getting 3 calls in a row, something wrong.
The only thing is the properties are not Dewey's. He has,
No, that one-
Virginia, let's see,
that one should be, isn't that Tim Roberts' place?
no, you have, what did I do with the name? Hang on. Virginia Hammock. That's Dewey's, maybe mother-in-law. And the tire property that's Dewey's, not Dewey's, is Cody, his wife, is Cody Osterhout. So the property with the tires is in,
Where's that one at?
it's down across from,
A Street in Johnson.
Is that
Just up from
across from Dave Standish's,
right across from
Where
the
the cow was.
I heard about the cow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The bull. The bull.
The bull, yeah. The one that got
Butchered the middle street.
butchered in the middle of the street.
The soup bones.
This just keeps getting better.
Well,
Maybe
the
we should
sad
get a
thing-
reality TV show.
You know,
Guys can
and
make
I,
some money off it for your historical society.
and I think that's, I mean, I think we gotta do something. I mean, it's getting out of hand up there, and, I mean, Aaron Smith was a pain in my backside, I'll admit that. But his house didn't look as bad as it does now.
No.
And then Cadet, Cadet and Victoria, Lord knows what they're doing, but,
Would there be
I wonder if I went out and talked to Standish.
a couple of these places have small children,
Yes.
and I'm quite concerned about them.
Does Cadet still have his kids?
Yeah, Cadet has one.
One,
the boy.
and Dewey's got 5.
I can't believe they let him have kids.
You know, another partner in this is the public health officer.
Yeah.
That's a very good
If the
point.
if the inside of the house looks anything like the outside,
Yeah.
which I think it probably does.
I wonder if we,
I have been there once,
I
and
wonder,
it's not good, there's garbage piles clear to the ceiling, it smells like the dump.
in Dewey's house?
In
He's
Virginia-
got 2 big
Virginia's
dogs
house.
in there
Oh,
too.
Virginia's house.
We can't take nothing to the dumpster because they bring it back.
Yeah.
They don't bring it all back, because I see.
The firemen were going around putting in free
Mm-hmm.
alarms, and they wouldn't let us in their house.
I wonder, I think they might have a child case already pending, so I might. I'll look. But there's some issues up there, there really is, and we thought maybe, you know, putting some folks up there and maybe get them to, you know, in law enforcement, we try to take our problems and put them somewhere else, for somebody else to deal with. So, it hasn't worked yet, they haven't left. So, I guess we're just gonna keep working at it, I guess, and
Is that like the fishing game, they take grizzly bears and put them somewhere else?
Yeah.
relocation program.
I would like to take a minute and thank Wynn, because since he's been up there and his crew has been there, things have kind of calmed down a little bit.
Nice.
But we've noticed that you haven't been up there for quite, you know, as much as you were. And activities have started again.
The deputy went through the other day. He did the whole tour.
You know, going through each street, that's helped. It used to be, they just drive through and then drive out. You know,
2 or 3 days ago, they went up top the hill.
You know, and that's good.
Well,
Everybody gets to see you.
We're trying to get back on track after Mason.
Yeah, I understand what you want, yeah.
But we're back to full staff again, and so hopefully we can get back into doing our normal routine stuff,
So you mentioned something about some kind of speeding lights or something out there. Can we do anything along that line?
You know,
Can you put a speed bump in legally?
I don't think you can on a highway, yeah.
What about photo enforcement? I know it's expensive, but if you could do it for
Can't do
like
it
a
in the state
weekend,
line.
can't do it? Oh, okay.
yeah, that's a legislative thing, but we could put, I have somewhere, I don't remember where it's at, but I have a catalog that has those things. They are, they're pricey, but,
They'll probably disappear.
and that's
Yeah,
my,
well.
and that's my other concern is they cost about, I think they're about $2,800 for one of those that flash. It's got the radar unit in it. The people that are good folks, a lot of the folks that live in Marysburg, good folks are sitting in this room right now. The ones that we're talking about,
They'll see that sign as a change.
they'd probably take it down and take it to the pawn shop as quick as they hook it up, but,
But it's also all the weekend campers that come in.
and that's really, that, you get that,
I think if you caught them a few times, I think they realize that, yeah, the speed limit starts past Williams' house there at 25, and they just come roaring into town, and yeah, when they hit the pavement, they might slow down,
yeah.
but they're thinking they're on a gravel road all the way through town.
And then they turn on Mill Street and they pour it to the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
If we didn't have a corner, they wouldn't slow down at all. I mean, if you gotta slam on your brakes to go around the church, by the church there, you're going too fast.
I wondered if something like that wouldn't be economical for the county as a suggestion, because I'm sure there's other areas that you could use it and pass it around different places. You know, it wouldn't be just for us.
no, and if they're, you know, so we can look at those things too, like, you know, I,
Nicole could write a grant.
Yeah.
There's grants for those, and then we could share it, like you said, around the county. There's a lot of places that could use it. Don't leave it up in one place for very long, because then, you know, it becomes habit.
well, I wonder if.
It might be worth a try.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if I can figure out, I mean, unfortunately, that Sunday afternoon is probably a terrible time when everybody's heading home. And then, I would imagine Friday
No, actually,
afternoon.
this morning it was really busy.
Oh, was it this
I was
morning?
there at 7 at the school, and I bet 15 campers went out this morning.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll come in on a Wednesday or Thursday, because the
Yeah.
camping places are so limited up there.
I mean, Sunday's bad, but I was
Sunday's
surprised
bad,
how many
yeah.
went today.
And we could put a security system on the school inside
Yeah.
to show on the camera. We have a security system at our house. We
I'm
don't have
just,
it
I'm
shown
not
out
sure,
in the street, but.
I'm not sure how, I mean, just trying to do from an enforcement aspect, you know.
Sure.
You can't, I mean, I can allocate some time, you know, sometimes, and depends on what's going on. But if I had the ability to say, okay, this is a high flow of time, you know, like a Sunday evening at 5 o'clock when some people are heading home, you know, that might be a good, you get a lot of Bozeman, I imagine Bozeman, Livingston area, probably heads up that way, Helena maybe. But, you know, you get a few tickets in there and they'll talk to each other and say, maybe we shouldn't speed through there.
You know, we don't not want traffic in Raidersburg.
Yeah. No, they just need to
Because
be
we're
respectful.
hoping, you know, yeah, I mean, it's good for our school, for our museum, you know, it's good to see Raidersburg, I mean, I'm proud of it, but not what's coming in.
And it can be a very nice community again.
Yeah.
if we get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's a really bad first impression.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you get hit pretty hard right when you come through right when you come into town.
Oh, you have the church and
Yeah.
middle school.
Yeah.
What can we do when we do have our Raidersburg days on the 29th, 30th? What can we do to slow the traffic down then?
You know what, I'm glad you said that, because I was actually wondering when that was gonna come, when that was coming. And I might, I'm trying to think who I have that I can.
Because there's some
send.
locals there that are just gonna speed through because they can.
Yeah.
I know who they are.
Well, if I can, what I'm gonna do, I'll look at some schedules and stuff, and I might just throw somebody up there, while you guys are having your event. And, cause you know, we're gonna find somebody
Well, yeah.
who's gonna drive by, trying to find Wi-Fi, and he can go to jail, so, that would limit that problem fairly easy, so. Let me see what I can do, to at least get you through the majority of the day there, on Saturday.
Saturday will be our biggest.
I don't know if I can get you all the way to the end, but I'll see what I can do to get somebody up there throughout for that day on Tuesday
We'll
and
feed them good.
Sunday. So, let me see what I can come up with.
Can we, on those days of our event, can we put up an event, speed limit 10 miles an hour?
You'd have to talk with the highway guys.
Okay, well, how about in front of the school there? Because that, from the church this way, it's the county. From what I
And these,
understand.
and the commissioners can they can set a special event, I think, what is it called? Can't you guys do a resolution to adjust the speed limit for a function?
Not that I'm aware of, but
special
we should look
events.
into that.
That might be something we can look into, I thought you guys could, but
How about if we close the street and send them down around other people's houses?
you would have to have permission, you have to have permission from the state. So you have to do a plan and a proposal, and I think it'd have to go to the commission for approval, and then it'd have to go to the state for approval. The same thing we have to do when we close the street off for a
Close the street
parade.
off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
So-
it doesn't come to the commission.
No,
Well, I
but
guess it goes to city
It goes to
council.
city council.
Yeah, so that would come to
uh,
us.
But we've never done one in the county.
You know, Alan, there might be another way too. For the different events here in Townsend, we have big yield signs. They're not yield signs, but they're the same shape, they're orange, and they say things like, Townsend having fun, caution kids, slow down. And they're not official signs.
Right.
We actually attach them to different, a commercial sign out here, we just put it on the lake, we put it on a fence. That might be something you guys can do, they're pretty inexpensive.
Okay.
And if you want, I'll give you a call with the information on those.
Perfect.
And BCDC could probably
Yeah.
even give you guys a marketing grant, which pays for it. And again, they're pretty inexpensive, but being big and orange, people generally slow down for that.
Sure.
No, it's not official, but I think it works.
They do work.
Do they?
Well, I'll tell you, the car with the mannequin in it, we took a long roundabout way and we come up through Utah. I come up over the top of the hill and there was a Bronco sitting there and had lights on it.
Oh, with highway
And
patrol,
there was
Yeah.
somebody in it, but he
You're
was
right.
like this when we got close. But I did slam on the brakes. When I looked down, I was going underneath the speed limit. But it was just the initial,
Yeah. Well, and I've seen them where they've encompassed the automated speed sign as well, and that usually, I can't remember, it might have been Virginia City, I was at where they had one, and it's
Rollins
also,
does that.
so they're out there. I just, a few of the clients in this particular packet, they try to jack it up and take the wheels off it.
They would, unless you're watching.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I think probably, all this is really good discussion too, and I think the people are here because it's time. I mean, we've put up with this a lot of years, and, but it's time. And so we really want something done about this.
You're gonna get with Corey then on some of this and maybe those letters send or however we want to start there and then with the enforcer from DEQ.
Yeah, I'll pull some statutes and
Okay,
see what we can come up with and figure out a plan, see what's gonna,
yeah.
it's not gonna change overnight, and, but,
No, but it's getting worse.
yeah, and I'd like to, I usually can talk to Standish, but I know he usually listens, he used to, so, with me, so maybe I'll go have a visit with him and see if I can.
You would be surprised, Standish, how the underground talk goes very fast from his house.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
once you do that, it's well known where we want the areas fixed.
Well, usually, so usually when I roll into his house, everybody knows I'm there within about 30 seconds, so. that
Do
might-
you want the number for DEQ enforcement? It's 444-0379.
Yeah, this is my card also.
Dave Standish came up to the school
And
yesterday.
they're giving
I
back
was,
the enforcement information.
I've been up there for the last couple of weeks working on some researching. And he came in, and of course I leave the door open, he came in and walked in and looked at me and says, "Oh, I thought you guys were building something again up here." And I said, "No, I'm just doing some research." Turns around and walks back out.
That's how I met him. He come over to my house and wanted to know if he if I had any food for him. And, all he's doing is casing the place out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he
He
does
went,
it.
went over to the new neighbors that moved from Three Forks, Larry and Sherry, and wanted to know if he could borrow a fitting for a furnace. And it was like, really? Oh, this nice place you got here, and he's looking around, and it's like, yeah. Well, I caught him in my backyard about 3 to 4 weeks after he come up to my place looking for, we were removing the dirt. Instead of him coming through the front yard, he walked out around the buildings and come in the back. I was not a nice man to him. Anyway,
Okay, well,
taking enough time.
we'll get on it and get something done, hopefully soon.
I'd like to thank you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Bill, you can't say that in public.
Well, we hear this through the grapevine, you know.
You go back to the old ones, they'll be decomposed and have more room.
Well, this did come from the trios is where that little comment that Bill just made is coming from. So, if one of us come up missing, you know where to look for it.
Which mine stuff?
The one that just freshly got covered.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll recess until 1 o'clock.
Does anybody wanna go have
Thank you,
lunch?
guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks you guys.
Till 1 o'clock, 15 minutes.